All right, today we're going to be looking at parallel and perpendicular lines and how to write equations of them. First off, parallel lines. What are they? Well, parallel lines are lines with the same slope. What does that look like if I graph them? Well, everyday life, these are the lines in your road. These are railroad tracks. Railroad tracks are parallel. They run side by side, they never cross. Parallel lines. If I have a line that has that slope, so any line that has the exact same slope anywhere else, they're never going to cross because they have exactly the same slope. Parallel lines. Two lines, they never intersect. They have the same slope. That's what you need to remember. So what is the other one? Perpendicular lines. And this is usually given a couple of different ways. Perpendicular lines, little preview of geometry. It can be defined this way, is two lines that intersect at right angles. That's one way to look at it. That's the geometry definition. Little heads up there. But in here, perpendicular lines, since this one is talking about lines with the same slope, perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals. They are negative reciprocals. What that means is, negative means they're opposite signs. So if you want to write that down, you can write this opposite signs. That means one will be positive, one will be negative. So reciprocals means flipped. So if I have a slope for one line, then it will be equal to the negative reciprocal of the other one. So you flip it over and you change its sign. In a graphing point of view, well, the XY axis are indeed perpendicular lines. But if I have a line that does this, then I have another line would look like this. So if this is line 1 and this is line 2, this one has a slope of M1 and this one would be a slope M2. This slope, if I flip it over and change its sign, gives me that slope. That's what this means. Negative reciprocals. Some other people will look at it from this point of view also. Some textbook will tell you this way. M1 times M2 would be negative 1. So either that method or that method. I usually do this one. Flip it over and change the sign. So these are parallel and perpendicular lines. So what you're going to be asked to do in today's lesson is to write the equation of a line that would be parallel or a line that would be perpendicular. And as we just got done talking about, what do I need to know to write the equation of a line? Is I need a point and I need a slope. So parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have the negative reciprocal slope. And that's how the slopes are determined. Now, here's some additional stuff. I'm going to give you an example on the back side here. So here's an example that I will walk you through. So here's a line. 2x plus 3y equals 18. And here's a point. 6, 4. I'm going to do two examples with this information. One, write the equation of a line that is parallel to this line and goes through that point. I want a line that is parallel to this and goes through that point. So what do I need to know? I need to know a point and a slope, and they gave me the point, which means I need to find, since I'm doing parallel, the slope of this line is the slope of my line, because in parallel lines, the slopes are the same. So I need to find the slope of this line. So how do I do this, find the slope of that line? Well, you have a couple of options. I'm going to show you the two options that I think you might want to try. Number one is you can go through here and you can find 2 points and do the rate of change. So I can make a little quick table with 2 points in it. And what point should I pick? I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to do the intercepts because it's in standard form. If x is 0, I got 3 times some number is 18, 6. If y is 0, 2 times a number is 18, 9. So my slope is the change in the y values over the change in the x values. This is a -6. This is a +9. So my slope is a -6 over 9, which I need to reduce to a -2/3. So that is the slope of that line. That is one option available to you. Another option, this is probably most people will probably use this option right here. Another way to find this slope is to take the equation, and one good point and purpose of the slope-intercept form is that it shows you the slope and it shows you the y-intercept. To put something in slope-intercept form is you want to solve for y. So take this equation and get y equals. You can move the 2x by subtracting 2x from both sides. Gives me 3y is a -2x plus 18. And then you can divide by 3 on both sides, or you can multiply both sides by 1/3, each way you look at it. I would like you to start thinking about multiplying by 1/3. 1/3 of 3 is 1, which is what you wanted. As I distribute this, I'll get a -2/3 x, and then 1/3 times 18 is 6. This is the y-intercept, which we confirmed right here, and that is the slope, which we confirmed right there. So you can actually get the slope in solving for y if that is an option for you. Does it not necessary? You can do a table approach, or you can do the equation approach. Either way is fine. Just make sure you know how to do at least one of them. So I have my slope, I have my point, y minus y1, m times x minus x1, and we plug our information into this. Y minus 4, -2/3, x minus 6. And depending on which way they want your answer written, if they don't tell you, you can just clean this up and be done. Y minus 4, -2/3, x minus 6, and that is an equation of the line that is parallel to that and goes through that point. What if I want to find the perpendicular? I want to find the perpendicular line to this line and goes to that point. Well, we have the point, we have the formula we're going to use. What I need is I need to know the slope of this line, which I have. And so the slope of my line is the negative reciprocal of that, which means flip it over and change the sign. If I flip 2/3 over, I get 3/2. And this was negative, so mine is positive. This is the slope I want to use. Same point, this slope, y minus 4, 3/2, x minus 6. And that's the equation of the perpendicular line. So whichever way you do it, you got to find the slope, whichever way you find it, and then of the line given, and then if it's parallel, you use that slope, and if it's perpendicular, you use the negative reciprocal of that slope in your point slope formula. This is what they're going to ask you to do in your homework. And there's a couple examples on how you can do it.